area. Hull has the highest rate, 35% of children living in poverty. 35%. In North East Lincolnshire, the figure is 32%. Earlier we heard from Alice Woodhousen from the Child Poverty Action Group.
So child poverty is when children or a family are living below 60% of the average median income. So essentially, it's when you can't afford the basic essentials. Like for children, it could be a warm winter coat or properly fitting shoes or a hot meal. So it can mean all sorts of things for different people, but essentially it's when you're living below 60% of the median income.
These figures that we're seeing this morning are shocking. Are you hearing that it's getting worse?
Yes, we are hearing that it's getting worse. We know that child poverty is expected to rise by 50% by the end of the Parliament. That's what the IFS has predicted.
Well, elsewhere in our area, 19% of children in East Yorkshire and 27% in North Lincolnshire are said to live below the poverty line. Lee Vandenborn is from the Whole Families Project, who help people in difficulty or crisis. Good morning, Lee.
Good morning.
I suspect that since you work in this area, these very high figures aren't ones that surprise you.
No, not really. What people need to take into consideration as well is working poverty. People are being forced into work and there's 0-hour contracts. So the benefit system is good, but when you go into work, that benefit system can fail.
So it's easy to think of people in poverty as being unemployed people.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more to the story.
Yeah, that's the stereotype which needs to be beaten, really, is that unemployed are the main causes of poverty, and that's not the case. Working poverty is the other issue.
We heard earlier on from Alice, who said that there are many parents who have children of a certain age who can't access the work, even if it did exist, because of the problems with childcare. Even though there are free childcare hours available to you, that you can't access those hours because there's not enough work. The hours of work aren't enough, are they?
Yeah, that is the other issue. That's why they introduced 0-hour contracts. But that obviously isn't working for most people, so they're leaving employment, and then they're getting stuck in the poverty. It's a vicious circle.
Is this a hidden problem, do you think? And by that I mean, are there some people who are turning to high interest loans so that they can afford those essentials that Alice referred to just there, but on paper they're not actually earning enough to afford those things?
Yeah, a lot of people are turning to high interest or even doorstep lenders and loan sharks. When you look at them figures, they are increasing, and again it's because people don't know the financial services that are out there, and within Whole Families we see a lot of people when they're at a crisis. They turn to us at last minute because
is that when people come to you when they've been everywhere else and they don't know what else to do?
Yeah, when they've got the loan and they can't pay it back and they don't know about priority and non-priority debts, and they're being faced with possible eviction, and obviously it has a knock-on effect. Also, the other issue is that people within the community, we've noticed a domino effect. So finances might be the start of an issue, whereas a child's behaviour at school, for instance, might be another issue, but they're all interlinking. And what we do different with the families we work with is that we work with the whole family, not just the individual, not just that one issue. We try and solve everything in general. So that's where we are different. And we try and help.
When we heard Anne Woodhousen from the Child Poverty Action Group, when she was saying it's going to get worse by the time of the next Parliament, you were nodding your head at that.
Yes. We're already at a high rate of decline because of poverty, and it is only going to increase. We are seeing more people that are below the poverty line, but certain groups, certain statistics only see people that are unemployed. And this is where the issue is. It's not just the unemployed. When you look at the whole situation, Hull is actually in the top most deprived areas across the UK.
You can get families with 2 adults working who are still technically below the poverty line.
Oh yeah. there's plenty out there. We have dealt with a lot of families, and actually, when you look at it, it's more people that are working that are below the poverty line. You know, both parents are working as many hours as they can, and it's just not improving the situation.
And as we heard earlier, the poverty line is an income of about £8,000 or £9,000. That's where the line is drawn, which is nothing to live on, is it?
It's not. When you break things down, you can be looking at living on possibly £1-2 a day for a family of four.
Is this problem going to be exacerbated following yesterday's news that benefits are going to be capped?
Yeah. Again, the issue, it's going to affect more people that are possibly in work, because they're working, so their housing benefit's going to be reduced. Their other benefits might be reduced, working tax credits, things like that. It will get worse through the benefits cap, unfortunately.
All right. Well, thank you very much for talking to us. If anybody wants to the help of the Whole Families Project, where can they find you?
We're on Greenwood Ave. We're next to, I think it's McColl's, the shop there. It's 101 Greenwood Ave, or you can call us on 01482 809 333.
Hull 809 333.
That's correct.
Lee, thank you very much for being here so early this morning.
Thank you.
Lee Van Den Born from the Whole Families Project. They help people, the whole family, in difficulty or crisis. And later this morning, we'll hear from a similar project in Grimsby. If you want to comment on anything you're hearing this morning, you can send us a text 81333 and start your message with the letters RH to get through to us. 7:42.
Thank you very much.